What is up, guys? Today we're going to take an in-depth look at the recent changes that were made to the battle rifle in the March update. So in terms of the rate of fire, time to kill, reload, etc., none of these things were changed. What did happen was the BR received recoil reductions for some of its scopes or sights. Thus, now when you zoom in or smart link with those sights, you will experience significantly less recoil than before when you fired the BR. So what were the sights that were affected? Well, the long shots, sentinel, and cog scopes were the ones that received recoil reductions. Firing the battle rifle while zoomed with these scopes will no longer give strong vertical kick. If you remember using these scopes after the December 2017 update, they were kind of problematic at longer ranges with the amount of recoil they had. In other words, they were just not fun to use. Now what about the Recon, Classic, Hybrid, and Morph sights? Well, these variants were not affected during this recent update, so you will still experience a lot of recoil while using them. But anyway, what I want to do next is actually help you get a better idea of how the recoil effects and changes affect the battle rifle's performance. Thus, we're going to do some quick tests. Now the Recon, Classic, Hybrid, and Morph sights all have the same recoil patterns, so to save time I'll just use the Recon Scope BR as a representative for these sights. Likewise, since this update, the COG, Longshot, and Sentinel scopes now have the same recoil patterns, so I'll just use the COG scope as a representative for these sights. Alright, first let's look at the vertical recoil patterns. For the Recon, Classic, Hybrid, and Morph sights, hipfire and SmartLink recoil are pretty much the same, with both having a bit of vertical kick. The COG, Longshot, and Sentinel scopes have the same pattern for hipfire, but in SmartLink the recoil is pretty much non-existent. We can further better visualize this by doing some accuracy tests and looking at the bullet spread. So from 35 meters, the Recon, Classic, Hybrid, and Morph sight bullet spread will look like this for hipfire and SmartLink fire. Again, it's basically vertical and slightly decreases in SmartLink with the zoom factor of each sight. Now if we repeat the same test for the COG, Longshot, and Sentinel scopes at 35 meters, this is what we get. As you can see, there is a significant reduction in bullet spread for SmartLink compared to hipfire. Thus, SmartLink is very accurate, unlike for the other group of scopes that we're looking at. Now how do these recoil patterns affect the BR's performance in terms of its ability to eliminate enemies at different distances? Well, within the red reticle range at about 25 meters, aiming with the Recon, Classic, Hybrid, Morph, COG, Longshot, and Sentinel scopes pretty much gives the same result as hip firing with good aim. However, aiming down sights at around 50 meters with the Recon, Classic, Hybrid, and Morph sights, you will feel the recoil effect, especially if your aim deviates on the target. Keep in mind, there still should be no problem with getting 4-shot kills if your aim is good. On the other hand, the COG, Longshot, and Sentinel scopes will pretty much remain steady on the target and give no problems whenever you aim. Moving on and further increasing the distance to the target to 100 meters, it will be extremely difficult to get 4-shot BR kills with the Recon, Classic, Hybrid, and Morph sights. And this is basically because you will be out of red reticle range, which means no bullet magnetism, and obviously the vertical recoil will severely impact your accuracy. On the other hand, at the same range, the COG, Longshot, and Sentinel scopes will have no problems in maintaining accuracy and getting 4-shot perfect kills due to their recoil reduction. Even well outside of the red reticle range at 150 meters at 6 times zoom, the Sentinel scope has no problem eliminating enemies, which is pretty insane. Of course, as we all know, there is a slight glare issue with the Sentinel scope, but it is one of those scopes that can be further complemented with weapon attachments. Along with the Longshot scope, it will be interesting to see how dominant these updated BR scopes will be when attaching a long barrel or a laser targeter, since they increase the red reticle ranges and the accuracy and bullet magnetism of weapons respectively. Finally, to wrap it up, I went and measured all of the red reticle ranges for you guys for the different BR scopes and grouped them based on the March update. Just to be clear, hipfire is not affected and remains at 30.48 meters for these BR variants. However, the Recon, Classic, Hybrid, and Morph sights will be the medium to long range scopes ranging from 61 meters to 77 meters, while the COG, Longshot, and Sentinel scopes will be the long range scopes ranging from 80 meters to 125 meters with the Sentinel 6 times zoom. And if you're wondering about the Halo 2 battle rifle, it was not affected by this update and still dominates on the battlefield. However, the recoil reductions for the COG, Longshot, and Sentinel scopes will now give the standard BR a slight advantage over the Halo 2 BR at longer ranges. Well guys, guys, that's basically it for the BR changes from the March update. If you know me, then you know that the battle rifle is one of my favorite semi-automatics in Halo, so I had to devote a separate video for it detailing its changes. However, there are 3 or 4 other weapons that were slightly modified in this update, so I'll cover them as well, but in separate videos. Maybe commentaries or not if the information is straightforward. As a heads up, I'll probably release those videos in a couple of days or next week, since I'll be a little bit busy this coming weekend. Anyway guys, I hope this video helps you out. Thank you for the support, thank you for watching, and as always, until next time.